Hello, my name's Andy Clark and I'm the director of Coastal Sport, and this is my director's commentary. I hope you enjoy the film. Let's have a look, shall we? Well, to start off with, we wanted quite a dramatic beginning. We took inspirations from several of the rock climbing videos of the 90s, and also Star Trek V. At the beginning of that, there's a beautiful climbing sequence up El Capitan. So there's a lot of inspiration there. And hopefully, especially with this soundtrack, it was quite a tense build-up. It gave the audience a level of uncertainty as to what was going to happen. Now obviously, people that have seen my previous works will instantly recognise the staple of my videos, being the Ford Escort. And this whole sequence here was meant to lighten the mood after that quite tense build-up. That's my friend Phil. Especially with the soundtrack in the background. And these freeze frames here, obviously taken from the old Roadrunner cartoons, really meant to try and lighten the atmosphere.
I mostly do bouldering, which is
when we did these initial interviews, we wanted to make sure Luke and Phil were portrayed as very different people. So Luke is obviously in the back of a car, and Phil is out down near the rock face. And also, you also notice that Luke always appears on this side of a screen, and Phil appears on this side of a screen. And that's continuous throughout the whole film.
I climb at Hevery quite a lot. It's one of the local crags.
These big panning out shots, establishing where we were really important to get in, because they really start off to show some very exact detail and then broaden out to show the whole crag. And some of these little zoom shots, which were mainly inspired by a Top Gear segment that compared a car to a rock climb, I think they really add something. This next sequence here came really by chance. It wasn't planned. When we interviewed Phil, he told us about the accident he actually had there. I think it really added to the depth of the video and perhaps added a little bit more tension as to whether Luke's climb would go well.
Could have been a lot worse.
The reason that I'm doing this climb is
this is the most cringe-worthy part of the film for me. Just these middle shots, these middle interviews with both of them together, just a little bit out of focus, really gets to me. That's why there's a lot of pick-up shots in this particular part of the film to cover that up. And the lifeboat here, very aptly, just when Luke's saying he's feeling very nervous. I think that's a good place for it to be. So this is the main climbing sequence now. The most difficult part for this was finding a good soundtrack, and Cat, one of the team, actually spent hours trying to find the right piece of music, and I think what we've come up with is absolutely fantastic. We actually have two tracks, you should have just heard there, but we brought percussion in, so we managed to mix the tracks hopefully to add a bit more to the film. Just, I think it really makes a nice bit of footage, this, all the sequence together. There's some parts of the film we used a little head cam that you can see Luke wearing there, and that is actually the reason why this film is in 4:3 and not 16:9 widescreen like so many others, because the head cam only does a certain quality, which would have looked absolutely rubbish in comparison to the full widescreen. I think here it actually complements it quite well, and it's not too noticeably different. And the music really building now as you reach the end of Luke's climb. And hopefully the music has been triumphant yet slightly uncertain. That's what we were going for. That last shot there is absolutely stunning in my opinion. One of my favourite shots of the film. Although it's actually not of the route that Luke climbed, it's a different route that Luke climbed earlier in the day. But it fitted so well, it just had to be put in. And seeing now adding off as we fade out to the credits. There were a lot of arguments over the credits. Eventually I won out though, as the director always does. We had the credits scrolling across the bottom of the screen while we had some more action. Originally the credits were just going to roll straight over the footage. We had to add that black bar in because in the interview we used the two camera angles, and one of the cameras, this one, had the mic in shot, so that's why the black bar's there. Well, that's our video. I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you again.